Ripple Effects is the business, and we're the Aboriginal Awareness Training Company. We've been doing this for 19 years. In 1984, I went to work for the Department of Indian Affairs as their District Superintendent for Economic Development and Employment. And as part of that process, I realized that if First Nations were going to develop economically on reserve, there was a tremendous need for learning, skills, capital, marketing, and the only people that could really bring that to bear was in a partnership arrangement between the private sector and the First Nation community. On the second quarter. In that process, there was a lot of learning and comfort that had to be built. There's certainly a lack of information. From my experience, 5% knows a little bit, and 95% know absolutely nothing. That's a pretty big market. So between the curiosity and the fact that nobody knows where to go to get this information, these organizations will bring me in. I did this to supplement or enhance the work I was doing with government. Now it's so busy that I have to do it full-time on my own. I don't really have time to go out and work part-time for somebody else. Now it's on contract and it's incorporated in part of my business. Their agreement with the Innu and the Inuit. We have two basic workshops that we facilitate live. One is Aboriginal Awareness Training. The other is Outreaching, Recruitment, and Retention for Aboriginal Employment. And we also have an Aboriginal Awareness Training program online. If a client comes in and wants one workshop, I charge $4,500 a day, and anything over 10 workshops is $3,500, plus GST, travel, and accommodation. I've worked in Philadelphia, in New York, Portland. In Canada, it's coast to coast to coast. We work with oil sands groups like Syncrude and Shell Canada, Duke Energy, the Royal Bank, BHP Diamond Mines in the Northwest Territories, and so on. For smaller companies and individuals, we have our Ripple Effects online program. This is more generic and all-encompassing. If an individual wants to come online, we provide them with a username and a password. They have access to that online training for 4 months, and I charge them $500 plus GST. For a corporation that wants us to take the online awareness and customize it for them, we sign a 3-year contract. We charge them $40,000 a year, which includes updates and maintenance and all of that. And whether you have 80 employees or 40,000 employees, we don't care. The Royal Bank, for example, came to us and said, Robert, we have 60,000 employees and we need them to take your training. Well, at 20 a day, that works out to 187 years. We had to build the online awareness training. We customized it. We had to incorporate a video of their CEO, their Aboriginal relations initiatives and programs, policy statements, statements of principles, and then we loaded it on their intranet. Now there's 60,000 employees that can go on there and use it anytime they want. And we signed a 3-year contract with them, so it turned out pretty good. The ministerial permit to the Queen Charlotte Islands. These organizations will bring me in. They might be small oil companies, survey companies, environmental companies, and talk to them about how to build trust relationships with the people in the community so that they could communicate and actually do business. We incorporate all of their programs and the kind of things that they do with Aboriginal communities where they market to into a customized program. Sometimes they want to focus on recruiting and retention for Aboriginal employment. Sometimes they're looking about how to structure joint ventures and partnerships to do business with Aboriginal communities, whether it's Métis settlements or off-reserve First Nation businesses or wherever it may be. It doesn't matter if it's a corporation or an organization like the Chamber of Commerce or the Conference Board of Canada. They're looking for business opportunities. That are risk managers that manage billions of dollars of investment funds from, it sets everything. I mean, the cost to these guys. When it comes to marketing my business, I would say about 65% of my business comes from word of mouth. They recommend me to a different company or organization, and if I go in and I get paid, they get a finder's fee. I pay $500 for every one, and I pay out thousands and thousands of dollars to people across the country for saying, hey, I think you should hire Robert to come in and do an Aboriginal Awareness Training program. And if I got the word from Jimmy over there, Jimmy gets a check. Yeah, that's the number. Every accountant and lawyer and financial advisor I've ever talked to have always told me, Robert, you can't operate without a business plan. Absolutely critical. I agree. Not here. I don't have a business plan. Never have, and I won't. Okay? But I think for all of the new entrepreneurs and young business people that are going to start, I think you should get one. You are a risk taker. You're putting it all on the line. You are going to deliver a product or service, hopefully find a market for it, have passion to get it done. Security is unheard of. Continuity, not even possible. Persistence, absolutely critical, and be prepared to risk everything. I really try hard not to earn more than $250,000 a year, because if I do, it means I'm working too hard and something else has to give. We have very limited capacity to do more because I'm the only one that really facilitates. So that's my limitation, which is okay. Bigger isn't necessarily better. Once I start growing, then I start infringing on my lifestyle. And I'm not prepared to do that. You have to manage growth and you manage greed. I can pay my bills, stash a little bit away, take a holiday on occasion, and get by just fine.